So anyway, I started the Abilify last night. It seemed to help with the night terror things. Just one night, so I can't be sure. Waking up at around 10 till 6 this morning, it seemed like my sleep was more restorative. And I don't recall, anything. Who remembers, right? I don't recall, anything happening until right before waking up, which is unusual. Because normally all night, one right after the other, like binge watching a 15-minute show or something. But it's already begun again today. It's not a twice-a-day medication for a reason, but the tactile garbage. Well, I was in the office area talking to her about dinner and her doctor's appointment today. The memory at the golf club, pressing up in my crack, trying to push me in a different direction again. Followed by the taser, as usual. And of course the weird ear thing. And more handcuffs for reaching in my own ear, because it's so bothersome. Like a hearing aid. So anyway, tasering that weirdness at the right side. I don't even know how to describe it. Last night was a fairly vivid dream of it. I got the handcuffs slinging around again before falling asleep. It really was like, I don't know, the blade of a blender or a chainsaw or something. I'm dragging it across my foot or ankle. Then that sound the handcuffs make as they start slinging around. Yet again. And then the locking in, of course. Now that I think about it, when I went back to bed this morning, there was that needle stabbing in the back of my calf. But it wasn't so bothersome either, and I'm assuming the shit was still in my system. Abilify. It's definitely unusual not having the, garbage thing happen. Then something about hallucinations and saying no, and then backtracking and blaming me for not explaining the PTSD to them. Oh well. That's before I knew flashbacks were essentially hallucinations, because no doctor had bothered to explain it. No medical professional, that is. Then I got into the back of the head with the same folks again. So, no. Like I had been mentioning, then after medicating, of course, the cup with the same preds again. Then the taser with the same folks again. Where did I put my water glass? Then the hitting in the back of the skull with their fun again. Then another hand, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, sleep helps with, in my opinion, with dealing with it during the day. Because there's not so much exhaustion from, tossing the blankets and stuff around all night from self-defense memories of, just being confused of what was happening and trying to, you know. And there goes the finger. What day would be, complete without it? Into the ass again. And there goes another needle. In that memory. Probably because of that little bit of choking just a moment ago. What triggers it is so baffling sometimes. Normally being assaulted sexually again. And something about getting up off of my ass and onto the floor with the same predators. Anyway. Wonder what will happen today other than the blue piece of paper, another badge, and the same thing. It's another reason I never liked gold jewelry. Those types of, irrelevant little details no one ever wanted to talk about. I mentioned mental health is seen as nothing for their victims, usually, at least in my case. But then when it came to them, it was, oh my God, now there's a, real reason to develop an anxiety issue. Maybe I'll go in the living room and sit on the carpet and try to stretch a little bit. I don't know, listening to the music channel or something. I guess I should go on to say, with going back on an antipsychotic, the Abilify, I woke up in a less panicked state. I don't know what's more important to my, hopes. The nighttime part being gone, or the panic attacks in the morning, because they really lead to some really ugly shit. But oh well, right? In the knife with the same predators again. Like I mentioned, they would hold it underneath my penis and hold me at gunpoint with their good times on. Cool, huh? And those were officers of the law. I find it more than interesting that, it was all written off as completely legal. We're going to give you 10 seconds to get off of this property. And the same folks again. Oh well. Then the teeth clamping down again. Sickening, isn't it? From the sexual assaults to the attempted homicides and everything in between. At gunpoint, as I mentioned.